Welcome into the Fantasy Football Diagnostics Podcast, where we provide you with your weekly diagnosis of everything fantasy football. Whether it's season-long leagues, dynasty, DFS, or sometimes even IDP, we got you covered all year long. Let's do it. Let's get to it. Welcome into the Fantasy Football Diagnostics Podcast. And of course, I'm your host, John June. And of course, I got my guy, Greg Penniman. Greg, what is good, man?
What's good? Feeling real good off that Thursday night game. What a first awesome game the NFL put on. First game that those two teams showed that, defenses earlier are definitely going to struggle. So it's going to be nice for these fantasy weekends. So I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. It was good to see football that counted, football that mattered, see guys flying around for 4 quarters. And with that, man, let's get into our Thursday night takeaways, man. So I'm going to start with me, man. I mean, Dak Prescott just picked up where he left off, attempted 58 passes last night, or Thursday night, rather, as we record this Saturday morning, but completing 72% of his passes for 403 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, which really wasn't even his fault. We even saw him run the ball a little bit too. I'm thinking Dak has an opportunity here to pick up where he left off last year and finish as the number 1 quarterback. I mean, yeah. I don't think it's too crazy, Greg. What about you?
Yeah, I totally agree with that assessment. This man was flinging it everywhere. I was saying that's arguably one of his best game ever. Right off the bat, off the injury, the botch snap, the back leg throw to Mark Cooper in the end zone was just amazing. He's just shown a lot of elevation. Yeah, he was fearless. He ran the ball out the pocket when he got pressured. He held it, made like those mistakes that you would think he would make if he had thought about the injury. So he's definitely not thinking about the ankle injury.
Definitely not. Greg, what's 1 or 2 takeaways you got from the Thursday night game, man?
Definitely one. Though, I mean, even though the Zeke takeaway, but from the takeaway from that, to tell the managers to not panic on what happened, definitely a lot of Zeke owners probably panicking after that first game, but the game plan didn't support the Cowboys. Also, Zach Martin was out as we analyzed the game the night before. So Zeke is definitely going to be fine as far as his carries and his volume. There will be probably more pass heavy team, but I don't think it'll be that drastic going forward.
Yeah, no, definitely. That was one of mine as well. I mean, it was a challenging opportunity against a Bucs defense that over the last 2 years given up 3.5 yards per carry. We had kind of talked about it.
That's brutal.
We didn't want to play Zeke in this game, but you didn't really have another place to go. And nobody, you weren't starting Zeke because he was going to run for 100 yards last night. Right. You were starting Zeke because you were hoping that maybe he'd score a touchdown.
Yeah.
Maybe he'd get in the end zone. And that didn't happen. But hey, if I've got a Zeke manager or 2 that's freaking out in my league, I might have some offers or 2 that's going out, man. I'm just saying.
Yes, sir.
I'm just saying. Yeah, Greg, anything else, man?
Oh, yeah. Antonio Brown, man. That man is definitely back as far as, we told him to watch out for this man. He got the targets last year. The performance was just revving up with Tom Brady. Tom Brady loves throwing it to AB. He does. So it's just good to see him getting downfield. No one can still cover him one-on-one, so it's going to be a problem all year.
Yeah, no, I mean, you look at the situation in Tampa Bay. I mean, you've got 3 receivers, all that can make plays. I mean, AB, though, seems to have really – I mean, there was a stat out there that he was targeted on a higher rate of his routes than any one of these Bucs receivers when they were playing last year. And that just kind of shows you this is a guy that was, just kind of picked up off the street, was kind of getting into the swing of things with the rest of these guys playing catch up. And, he was out targeting them on a route per basis. So I'm into Antonio Brown. I'm into these Bucs receivers, also into these Dallas receivers too.
Oh yeah.
If we see Dak throw the ball 58 times, there's enough there. Amari Cooper had 16 targets. CeeDee Lamb had 15 targets. Michael Gallup was on his way to a decent game before leaving with a calf injury. Seems like he'll be out 1 to 3 weeks. So Cedric Wilson steps in.
Yep.
He also had a good game. So
both the tight ends played basically even 50-50 split too, almost. So yeah.
So I mean, there's going to be a lot to go around in both of these offenses, I think. let's move on to the games, Greg. So yesterday or Thursday rather, we covered the 1 p.m. games, the 1 p.m. games that we had in our previous episode. So if you haven't, if you're looking for a game that is not the Miami versus Patriots, Cleveland versus Kansas City, Denver versus New York Giants, Green Bay versus New Orleans, Chicago versus LA Rams, Baltimore versus Las Vegas, these are the games we're covering today. If you're looking for a game that is not one of these games, go catch episode 183. It will be there. Greg.
Yes, sir.
We are here to help people get their fantasy teams right, but we could also help them get right in another way. What is that way, Greg?
We're so close. Got to make these play props. You're so close to getting them in. Got to do it on Thrive Fantasy. Come prop up on Thrive Fantasy this football season. As you know, Thrive Fantasy is a daily fantasy sports app, an esports app for player props. With Thrive, you can eliminate the countless hours of research and focus on the top tier athletes that have the biggest impact on the game. Choose 10 out of the 20 available player props to build your lineup. Each prop is assigned a fantasy value for both the over and the under based on how likely it is to hit the most props and rack up the most points to win a prize of the share of the prize pool. Thrive has over 140,000 guaranteed in prizes for NFL Week 1 and has awarded over $4 million. So definitely a lot of money to be had in Thrive Fantasy. Thrive's featured $100,000 guarantee contest. It's only $20 to enter, and first place takes home $20K. And if you use that promo code FFDX and deposit $50 or more, you receive a 100% deposit match up to $100 and one free ticket to both our Thursday Night Football, which already happened, but you get the $20,000 contest as well to our Week 1 Sunday $100,000 contest. That's an additional $40 value. You got to do it. Use that code FFDX. It's free money.
Free money, yes, sir. And that's what we try to do on this show, give out free money in terms of these picks that we're about to give out.
Yes,
so got to get in that mindset. We also got starts of the week today. Also have some get money. So there's a lot of money be a lot of money today. So we gotta go out and get that for our hashtag DX tribe out there. So Greg, let's jump into these games, man. And got this first one here, 4:25 p.m. We've got the Miami Dolphins traveling to Foxborough to take on the New England Patriots. This is a 43.5 point total. The Patriots are 2.5 point favorites. In terms of injuries, Miami starting left tackle Austin Jackson is out with COVID. Because Tua is left-handed, this is his backside tackle, so the not blind side, his blind side tackle, so not as big a hit as it would be, but he's out with COVID. Plus, he kind of stinks anyway. New England wide receiver Nelson Aguilar, he is questionable with an ankle. In terms of the game here, I'm going with the under. Taking New England to cover, taking New England to win. If we're talking PPR leagues, which we do on this show, Myles Gaskin is an RB1 for me this week, but I still think he's more than a fine play in any format because if it's anything like last year, he'll be getting volume, and so I'm interested in playing him. I have some interest in Mike Gesicki, but other than that, I'm not really into the Miami side. As for New England, I like Damian Harris as a low end RB2. I like Jonnu Smith as a tight end option. The quarterback battle will be interesting because of the Bama connection. You got Mac Jones, who used to back up Tua at Alabama just 2 years ago. And, I mean, you ask me, Mac Jones is the better prospect, better quarterback. But we'll find out. That's just the interesting part. But I'm not playing either one of these guys on my fantasy teams. Greg, where are you at with this game?
Yeah, I'm saying with you, got the under, got the Patriots covering and the Patriots winning. You know, this is definitely going to be not too much point scoring classic AFC, East game, first game. Remember last game when they went down there, it was a low scoring game as well. Patriots really dominating the running front. So on the Patriots side, I'm really looking at Damian Harris and both the tight ends. I think Hunter Henry's slated to play, so that's good news for him and Jonnu Smith. Hopefully they can help each other out. And they both have some tight end one upside. I have them as tight end twos though to start. And on the Miami side, yeah, it's really the gas man, Mike Gesicki, that you really need to focus on. The gas man is definitely high in RB2 with some RB1 upside, and Gesicki should be slated for a lot of targets. The receivers are going to be shaky. You don't really know on either side what receiver is going to step up. Hopefully Jacoby Myers does though, because definitely like him going into this year.
Yeah, definitely. Jacoby Myers is a guy when Mac Jones got inserted into the starting lineup, his stock raised a lot. James White, like we also talked about as well. So these are two guys I'm probably gonna have an eye on, see what their roles, what their usage is like. Not gonna start them or anything like
No,
that
no,
because I don't really care for this matchup. But if they're playing most of the snaps, if they're getting a lot of targets in the pass game, then that's something that's gonna intrigue me
yes, sir.
as the season goes on. Let's move on to this next matchup. It is probably one of the most intriguing matchups of
Woo.
the afternoon. The Cleveland Browns traveling to Kansas City to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a 52.5 point total. The Chiefs are 6.5 point favorites. Terms of injuries, Cleveland head coach Kevin Stefanski says that Odell Beckham Jr. is questionable with his knee. He will provide status 90 minutes at the kickoff. That sounds like fluff to me. I don't know. I'm just prognosticating here. Anyway, Kansas City Chiefs safety Tyrann Mathieu. This one is big. May miss the game as he's on the COVID list. And that doesn't they have until I think 3 p.m. on Saturday to activate him. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But Greg, where are you going with this game, man?
First of all, shout out to my man Patty. But already know I got the over in this game. I got the Cleveland Browns covering and the Kansas City Chiefs winning. These two teams played a very entertaining playoff game in the divisional round, and it was a little scary for them Chiefs until the last moment. But on the Cleveland side, Baker's gonna have an up and down year, but you want those weeks like this when you're gonna stream Baker and have Baker in your team. It's gonna be a high scoring game. He's gonna have to be forced to put up points, so he usually delivers in that aspect. So you definitely want to have Baker as a streamable play this week. Starting both Chubb and Hunt, of course, Chubb with the higher upside into that RB1 category. If Odell's playing, which it seems like I don't think it's a super doubtful question that he will be. I think you throw Odell out there, wide receiver 2 upside. I think as always, especially in this one with the target volume, just hoping that it's better connection with Baker. He only had a catch rate of 53.5% last year. That's really low. I mean, it's usually not what we see from Odell when he was with those Giants. That's all I got to say, man. And then Jarvis Landry, he's your low, safe PPR floor, kind of that Juju category. So he'll be there, but he's not going to get too much yardage, I think. But the targets will be there. On the KC side, it's the best fantasy side, easiest fantasy side to talk about every week. It's Pat Mahomes, it's Tyreek Hill, it's Clyde, and it's Travis Kelce. Like that's all you need to know every week, week to week. You're starting those guys in their ones at the position all the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the under here. Actually, I'm gonna take Cleveland to cover. Gonna take Kansas City to win the game. I'm taking the under because I think the Browns have to keep it close. They have to keep it a low scoring game in order to try to win this game. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do win this game. I think it starts
Yeah,
with Nick Chubb. I think he has a huge game here, mainly because the Browns have put a lot of resources into the defensive side of the ball, which should allow them to lean on Chubb, play a little bit more ball control offense, and run the ball in this game here. I think Kareem Hunt is in play as an RB2 for sure. I'm not in love with the pass game here, but Baker totally makes sense with the high total. I mean, I'm taking the under here. It's probably not why I'm not in love with the pass game, but I think if OBJ plays, he's a wide receiver 3 flex option potentially with some wide receiver 2 upside. In the event he doesn't play, I can see Jarvis Landry having a productive game, especially if Tyrann Mathieu's out in the middle of that defense. Yeah, it's I'm not really into the pass game, but it makes sense with the high total here. For Kansas City, though, like you said, Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, to me, all three of those guys top options at the respective positions. CEH mid-range RB2 with that low-end RB1 upside against the Browns' run defense that was actually pretty good last year too.
yeah,
So
sure.
will probably be improved this year as well. I'm curious to see though. One thing I am watching the Cole Hartman breakout. Is it
Oh
real?
man,
I'm putting them on watch, man, because I really want to
the
see
whole
like
league is the whole fantasy community is putting him on
right
watch,
like
yo.
we heard all the talk in the summer and stuff. He's much improved. Looks more like a receiver, less like a gadget player. Mahomes hyper targeted him in that first in one of that preseason game. He had like 5 targets from Mahomes. I'm curious to see, is this real? So, I'm gonna be watching.
Yeah, I always felt DeMarcus Robinson was the better receiver. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Contract year though, right? That's correct. If I'm not mistaken, for Mecole. Is it?
No, I think Mecole is in his third year, but that's just crazy, right? Because
Okay.
Mecole was drafted. When he was drafted, he was super raw.
Right.
Remember, they only drafted him because they thought they weren't going to have Tyreek Hill. At least
Right.
that's what we were speculating at the time. But he's super raw, like you said. Demarcus Robinson's been the better receiver. Mecole Hardman's probably the better athlete, the better
Yeah.
weapon.
Yeah.
But it's about making him a receiver. So we'll see. We'll see if it happens. Let's move on to this next game, also at 4:25 p.m. The Denver Broncos traveling to MetLife to take on the New York Giants. This is a 42.5-point total. The Broncos are 1.5-point favorites. In terms of injuries here, Evan Ingram is out with a calf injury. So, for all of the possibilities that we would be streaming Evan Ingram, not going to happen this week. But Saquon Barkley, listed as questionable with the knee, is expected to play here. So that is exciting news. I'm taking the under, taking the Broncos to cover, taking the Broncos to win the game here. For Denver, I don't really love anyone on the offensive side of the ball. This game in general is just ugly to me. Javonte Williams is the player I probably feel the most, I wouldn't even say comfortable playing, because even him, he's a rookie. I don't really know what the backfield distribution will be, but I have faith that the coaching staff, that they were working him as that RB1. Melvin Gordon wasn't really around, he was recovering from an injury himself. So I'm gonna be playing Javonte Williams in spots where I kind of have to, not really trying to force it. But you could take the shot on Melvin Gordon if you need to, just in case they give that veteran deference. And plus this is a game where I'm thinking the Broncos defense can probably give the Broncos offense some scoring opportunities here. I'm gonna fade Cortland Sutton this week. James Bradbury was really good last year. Could provide some issues there for Cortland Sutton, who hasn't played a full football game for 2 years. I'm willing to take the shot on Jerry Jeudy, but even he's in a tough spot as well. For the Giants, the only player I'm interested in is the man Saquon Barkley. And I understand he may be limited, but he's still one of the most dynamic players in the league. He's always a threat to score from anywhere on the field. Plus, those discounts we were getting in drafts weren't for week 1. They were for week 3, week 4, week 5. You know what I'm saying. But yeah, that's where I'm at, Greg. What about you?
Yeah, I have the under as well in this game, but I'm gonna take the Giants to cover and the Giants to win. I think the Giants defense kind of takes momentum here and wins this game for them, like they won a lot of most of the games for them last year. But on the Denver side, I'm with you. I'm not really interested in either quarterback on both sides. I'm avoiding Sutton to start unless you really have to. For a better matchup, higher upside wide receiver, he'll definitely see that shadow coverage from Bradbury. Most intrigued definitely to see the snap share and the touches between the running backs, Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon. So definitely see that there. On the Giants side, yeah, Saquon, he hasn't even confirmed if he's playing in week 1, first of all. But yeah, if he's playing in week 1, definitely.
Belichick disciples.
Oh, that's true. That is true. That is a very Belichick player move for sure. So, I mean, you're probably putting him in there, I think, to get you hopefully a top 30 week. Definitely don't see him as a top RB1 or even high in RB2, but yeah, he can definitely make some plays. So I think if you have someone you probably drafted him not to be your RB2, so you're probably going to put him in that spot. If you can have him as a flex option, that'd be great. Not really excited for the receivers except Kenny Golladay. There is no Evan Ingram. So I'm interested to see, Kadarius Toney. There's some rumblings that he might be used a lot. No Evan Ingram probably helps him out the most as far as touches. So intrigued to see his work in this game.
Can I get a line on Saquon? Like, could we do a bet here?
As far as touches, as far as fantasy points?
No, as far as fantasy finish.
RB.
So I'll give you some context.
Right.
In terms of expert consensus rankings, according to Fantasy Pros, he's the RB14 I actually have him a little bit lower than that. RB
Yeah,
21.
I'm with you more. I think the 20 to 25 range is him. 14,
Okay.
I
Can
see
I get
he's got to score a touchdown for
can we
sure.
set the line at 21 and a half? I'll take the under.
Oh man, I guess I got to take the over. Yeah, we'll do that.
All
We
right.
could do that.
Bet. Um let's move on to this next game, which I think has some more intrigue, man. It has a little bit of intrigue here. The Green Bay Packers traveling to New Orleans to take on actually no. Take everything I said back.
Oh
They're
yeah,
not traveling to New Orleans.
yeah, word.
They're actually traveling to Jacksonville to take on the New Orleans Saints. Due to the storm here, the New Orleans Saints are unable to play at their home stadium, and so they actually picked Jacksonville reportedly because of Aaron Rodgers' 3-4 record in Florida.
Wow. Not because
So,
of Florida. That's so good.
and they also looked up the fact that it apparently, because Packers fans like to travel, Jacksonville would have been more expensive than all the other locations that they were that they were looking into. So the Saints really thought long and hard about this. This is a 50-point total. The Packers are 4.5-point favorites. Greg, where you at?
With this one, I have the over. I'm taking the Packers to cover and the Packers to win. On the Saints side, I'm a famous Jameis believer. He's definitely one of my sleeper picks in the offseason coming in. So I think he's a quarterback you can stream and a quarterback you can play, especially in two quarterback leagues. I think he proves himself here today to start. I think he relies a lot on Alvin Kamara. Without Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara gets a lot of play. This opens up all the action for Alvin Kamara. He's definitely a bona fide RB1. Marcus Callaway, I think, is a upside wide receiver 2 in this one. I think he's definitely going to get targeted heavily. They're going to have to keep pace with Green Bay. I have the over in this game. And the other guys, Alex Troutman has some intrigue to me because, again, who's really going to throw to is really Marcus Callaway, Traquan Smith, and Alex Troutman. Between those, Marcus Callaway is one. Traquan Smith is a boomer bust.
I failed to mention, sorry, off the top, Traquan Smith was put on IR the other day with a hamstring injury, so he's out. And Zadarius Smith for Green Bay is questionable with the back, but I think he'll play.
Word. So, yeah, take out Traquan Smith. It's all Alex, Marquise Callaway. I think that bumps him up even more. Really, Kamara and Callaway should dominate touches, and then, Alex Troutman should definitely have intrigue as a tight end. If you definitely drafted him, I think you could take a shot here. And on the Green Bay side, other than Kansas City, this is probably the second easiest analysis. It's Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams. Those are probably like the best with Kansas City, the best 1, 2, 3 in the league fantasy wise. And then, Robin Tonyan is definitely a tight end. I'm both intrigued in both tight ends that we could start with some tight end one upside.
Yeah. So like I said, this game is really interesting to me, and all the storylines, the fact that New Orleans picked Florida because of Rodgers' 3-4 record, and the flights and how expensive it is for the fans. And then it made me think, like, Sean Payton is a dog. like
He is.
Of all the head coaches, like, I don't know how many of them. I mean, of course they all want to win, but like Sean Payton literally takes it personally. Like, oh, you don't think I could beat you with my backup? Oh, we lost Drew Brees. Like, all right, yeah, you count us out. Like, okay, we'll beat you with Teddy Bridgewater. Like, no big deal.
Yeah.
We'll beat you with Taysom Hill. And just remember how many games like this Sean Payton has won. And so I'm going to take the Saints to cover here. I'm going to take the Saints to win.
I like it.
Everybody's counting them out. Everybody. So I'm going to take them to win. He's got the firepower on offense. He knows what Jameis does well and can accentuate his strengths here. So I'm into playing Jameis here as a QB2 with some QB1 upside potentially. I think it all goes through Kamara. Like you said, though, he could legit be the number one guy on the week here. I like Callaway as a wide receiver 2 this week. Jameis, like I said, can come through as a wide receiver, as a quarterback too. I'm curious to see. I'm watching Juwan Johnson. I mean, he's a wide receiver, tight end. He has some actually dual eligibility on some of the platforms, but he was a wide receiver last year, undrafted, converted to tight end for the Saints. he's been playing a lot of the third down snaps in the preseason, strictly working as a receiver there. So I'm curious to see what his role is like in this game. That should have a high total. As being someone who is an Adam Troutman believer, I was gonna say is. I also really like Juwan Johnson, so I'm curious to see how this plays out. So for Green Bay, give me obviously Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones. Robert Tonyan has tight end one upside, obviously, because that touchdown potential. But then another guy, Marquez
Oh
Valdez-Scantling.
man, here we go.
I'm keeping my eye, man. I'm keeping my eye. See if the breakout is real. We got a contract year, so I just want to see, man. The talent has never been the question for Marquez. The issue has been consistency and focus. And so if he can fix that, and I know one thing makes people focus real easy, it's that money.
That's true.
So Marquez Valdez-Scantling, if there's ever a time to focus, it'll be this year, starting this week.
Who are you more excited for coming into the season, McCole or MVS?
I mean, I'm not really excited for either one. I'm just intrigued. I mean, if I had to pick a guy to be excited about, it'd probably be Mecole Hardman.
More confidence,
yeah, I want that offense. There's enough volume there to extract 6 or 7 targets a week. Whereas like MVS, you're like really hoping that guy's gonna get like 4 or 5 targets and just make
that one big play. Yeah,
that one big play, right? So it doesn't help that you play with Aaron Rodgers though, and opposite Devontae Adams. That can't hurt.
No, it doesn't. No.
All right, man, let's move on to this next game. Sunday Night Football, man. The Chicago Bears are traveling to LA to take on the LA Rams. This is a 44.5-point total. The Rams are 7-point favorites. This game takes place Sunday, 8:20. Greg, in terms of injuries here, Khalil Mack, Eddie Jackson, Darnell Mooney are all questionable, expected to play. The Rams, they're okay here. Me, on the other hand, I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the Rams to cover. I'm going to take the Rams to win. For the Bears, let's just start there. Monty is a volume-based RB2. David Montgomery, volume-based RB2 here. Not expecting much. I honestly would go somewhere else if I could afford it. But depending on where you drafted him, you probably can't. Allen Robinson is a volume-based wide receiver 2, in my opinion. Has a tough matchup. But last year, Jalen Ramsey didn't actually shadow. So there's an opportunity here. I mean, granted, that can always change. But he didn't shadow him last year. And Allen Robinson has an opportunity every week just through target volume to really be come through as a wide receiver, as a top wide receiver play. And then Cole Kmet, my stream of the week here, I think he sneaks into tight end 1 territory, basically out of necessity. And then make sure Justin Fields is on your bench ahead of this game. I'm calling for the Deshaun Watson-like replacement at halftime. I'm just saying.
Week 1. Oh, man.
I'm just saying. I've been comparing the draft process, basically since before draft day. And if it happens, stuck behind a veteran, everyone knows you shouldn't be playing behind, and you're going up against the Rams, it's not hard for it to look ugly at halftime.
Sunday night too, they
Sunday
set it
night
up.
In front of everybody.
Word, yeah.
Like you're embarrassing the owner. Look, I'm just saying, it's not hard to look bad against the Rams by halftime.
That's crazy. Something about these primetime games, yo. NFL is weird, man.
I'm just saying, man. For the Rams, I do like Cooper Kupp. I like Robert Woods, both as wide receiver 2s with wide receiver 1 upside. Darrell Henderson, an RB2, sorry. Woo. I don't want to put those expectations on him. An RB2 for me, but he does carry some risk with the presence of Sony Michel in the backfield. I want to see how this backfield is split up. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I think you can play Tyler Higbee this week as a tight end option. The Bears were not very good against the tight end position last year. And first game with Matthew Stafford in a game with where they should be leading, run game, play action, Tyler Higbee is definitely in play.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the over in this game. I'm gonna take the Rams to cover though, and the Rams to win. This is gonna be a huge game from this Ravens D line is just gonna dominate, which is why it might look ugly to first half. Which is yeah, it
Rams,
might the Ramsey line side is gonna dominate this game. They might get to Andy Dalton probably 3 or 4 times in the first half alone, so it's gonna be ugly. But on the Rams side, Matthew Stafford, you're playing. I think he's playable. This offense is gonna be rolling pretty much to start. I think with Robert Woods, with Cooper Kupp, both gonna be heavily targeted. You know. The third receiver is definitely gonna be interesting. Is Van Jefferson gonna emerge? They did sign Deshaun Jackson. All these guys have great matchups, but Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods are the guys to start. Darrell Henderson, I think I agree with you, RB2 category. And intrigued to see Sony Michel's work. They did trade for him, so they did want him. They spent that draft capital on him. So yeah, he's still a decent young prospect from Georgia. Tyler Higbee is in play. Yeah, Stafford he be dealing all night, so he's definitely got QB1 upside. On the Bears side, really, yeah, it's just David Montgomery. He was one of the safest running backs twos last year. Great floor, so I think you can play him as such. And Cole Kmet is going to be in play unless Jimmy G, touchdown vultures him in the red zone, and that's why Allen Robinson, you're playing him low in wide receiver 1, but the matchup is going to be tough. Just the game flow is going to be tough, but he can get some receptions in the second half if they're behind.
Yeah, I'm with you on this game, man. Let's move on to the final game, man. Monday Night Football, and can I just say something, man? Thank God for the NFL getting rid of these double headers.
Oh man, on the week one doubleheader.
On the week
Got
one
a Monday
doubleheader,
night game
man.
going to like 2 a.m. in the morning. Like no one's trying to do that.
Bro, I mean, I know that we're not as fortunate as our West Coast counterparts, but that game, man, is a struggle. I can't even tell you the last time I stayed awake through that whole game.
It's usually the Raiders in it too, always. Like
Raiders
what? Chargers. It's always like Raiders Chargers or like Niners or something.
Broncos.
Yeah, we don't want to see that.
Bro. But Monday Night Football, 8:15, the Baltimore Ravens traveling to Vegas to take on the Las Vegas Raiders. This is a 51-point total. The Ravens are 4.5-point favorites, according to FanDuel Sportsbook. The Ravens have suffered obviously some pretty bad injuries.
Yeah, that injury report gonna be long. I don't know.
I'm not even gonna read it because there's guys we've already talked about already out for the year and stuff. But Josh Jacobs is questionable with a toe injury for the Raiders. Richie Incognito is questionable as well. Greg, where are you at with this game, man?
Yeah, so I definitely had the under, the Ravens covering, and the Ravens winning, but I'm definitely going to switch to the the Raiders to cover, the Baltimore Ravens to win the game. And I'm going to take the under. Just the amount of injuries the Ravens have sustained, on both sides of the floor. I think on field, I think the Ravens could cover, but I think the Ravens still get it done. They control the pace with the run game. No matter who it is, I just know this bump it just helps Lamar Jackson stock more and more. Like Lamar Jackson is just gonna have to take over, which is fine. Like that playoff game that one time when they were down, like Lamar Jackson ended up with like almost 200 rushing yards. Like this is gonna be one of those games where he's gonna have to dominate with his legs and his arm. So I like Lamar as a bona fide top 3, top 5 play at the quarterback position. Mark Andrews got the paper and is probably one of the few healthy pass catchers on the team. So you're starting him as a top 5 option, at the tight end position. And Sammy Watkins, I think, is intriguing for sure against the secondary, along with Marquise Brown. He's got some upside, but I want to wait and see for him. I think, Sammy Watkins, if you're in a desperation wide receiver play and you need someone, he's probably a good play to pick up. On the Las Vegas Raiders side, not really too happy to start. I mean, Derek Carr is going to be owning 2 quarterback league options. You're probably playing him. Josh Jacobs, if he's able to go, you're playing him as I think a high up in RB2. And the receivers, it's going to be interesting. Is training camp legend Brian Evers going to step up? Henry Ruggs, I think, is probably the most confident guy I'm into right now. If you want to take a shot on Brian Evers, I'm probably in a wait and see mode with him. But it's Darren Waller all the way.
Yeah, man, I'm actually going to take the over here. I'm going to take the Raiders to cover, taking Baltimore to win. I'm all in on Lamar this weekend. I think he, like you said, I think you were referring to the poop game, if I'm not mistaken, against Cleveland.
Oh yeah, that's
But but yeah, man, Lamar, he I think he's gonna have to just be on one this week, man, just for the rest of this year. Honestly, I think, like I said the other day, I think they probably get forced into throwing the ball more than we're used to seeing him doing it. So I think Lamar is a top 3 option at the position this week. Mark Andrews, top 6 option. You said top 5. What's the difference?
Mhm.
Uh, then for me, the running back position, Tyson Williams, he makes a ton of sense as an RB2. I'm curious to
That's
see
right.
how
That's
this
right.
backfield plays out because they did add Latavius Murray, who
They
I
added
think
everybody.
they added everybody, man. But I think with Latavius Murray makes an intriguing fit. Of all the backs they added, Lev Bell, Latavius Murray, Devontae Freeman. I mean, he seems like the most intriguing fit to this offense as a north-south downhill runner. I'm really intrigued by that fit. Almost reminiscent of when the Ravens signed Mark Ingram that first year with Lamar as a starter. So I mean, I'm curious to see how it plays out. But Marquise Brown has a chance to return Hollywood status here
Yes, sir.
in what should be a good matchup for him. Don't forget Sammy Week One Watkins.
Hmm.
Make sure, I guess, I don't know if I would not recommend anybody playing him in your season long lineups. But if you want to do it in DFS, go with the narratives by all means. But for the Raiders, I think that their pass offense probably has some success here. The Ravens do a lot of blitzing and disguising, and when you lose a veteran in your secondary like this late in the week, like they did with Marcus Peters, I think that affects your communication on the back end. Darren Waller is a top 3 option at the position. Derek Carr, I think, is a high end QB, sneaky high end QB2 upside. I'm curious to see how these wide receivers play out, like you were saying, between Henry Ruggs and Brian Edwards. If I had to play one of them, it would be Ruggs. We've seen him do it. He's got that first round draft capital. He was the first wide receiver taken in what's a loaded wide receiver class. And I read a quote that John Gruden would love to prove to everybody why he took Henry Ruggs
Yeah.
with as the first wide receiver. So I'm be into Ruggs this weekend as a just like I'm just watching him, but I'm stashing him on my bench maybe ahead of this Monday night game if he's still available. But I will stash Brian Edwards as well, and then Josh Jacobs, touchdown dependent RB2, but in a game that the Raiders are supposed to lose, not really sure if I'm really into him. But Greg, it's that money time, man. It's
You
time
already
for the
know.
starts of
Yes,
the
sir.
week,
Week
bro.
one. Uh-huh. It's the we
Uh-huh.
hit. Yes, sir. I'm hyped.
But so let's go, man. I mean, this is a wonderful time, man. We give out our quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end starts of the week for anybody that is new, has not listened to this before. Um, and it could be a guy that is either being, left for dead or not does not people don't want to play him, or people may not have confidence. We're giving that confidence boost. Or it could be a guy we're calling our shot. Hey, number 1 guy on the week, man. So Greg, what's up, man? Who's your quarterback start of the week?
Right off the bat with your guy for the season at quarterback position, gotta go with Ryan Tannehill versus Arizona Cardinals, coming off his best season off 33 touchdowns, only 7 picks. He's in store for a smash week here against his weak secondary. Arizona Cardinals, got AJ Brown, got Julio, Josh Reynolds. They're all 3 of these guys are in play with the matchups that they have. Not to mention the high scoring game that is in play. The game total is 52 points. That's the second highest on the week. You already know what we saw Thursday night. These defenses earlier in the season are going to struggle. They're going to be behind. So you got to lock Tannehill in for at least 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, maybe even a rushing touchdown too, because he uses his legs. Ryan Tannehill is going to eat in this matchup. Top 5 calling it right now. Let's go.
Oh, I love that, man. Love me some Ryan Tannehill. My quarterback start of the week, man, is going to be Jalen Hurts going up against the Atlanta We know that he's a threat on the ground with his legs, but he's also a threat this week through the air. And we've seen Hurts in these high over-under games. This game has a total of 47.5. Greg, you and I both took the over here. So I think he's really going to come through as a passer, having to put up points. And we know when he gets in these hero ball situations, that's when we get these blow up explosion games. I think he's in for a big game here. He's my breakout quarterback on the year. And that starts on Sunday as a top 7 option this week at the position.
Yeah, you gotta love that pick there. Jalen Hurts, I have him in about like 3 leagues. So yeah, that's just music to my ears right there.
About to hurt so good, man.
Yes, sir.
Greg, your running back start of the week, brother. What do you got, man?
So we were talking about him last episode a little bit. He's up and down, unpopular to some people, but I love Joe Mixon. I'm going with Joe Mixon against Minnesota. Man, in 6 games last season, this man averaged 23 touches per game. That's insane value. First of all, there's no more Gio Bernard on the roster as well. He's in a great matchup versus the Vikings, who gave up the 6th most rushing yards in the league last season, about 134 rushing yards a game. He's in another high total game. The pace favors Joe Mixon no matter what, if they're down or above, because he gets over 4 targets a game too last year. This man, Joe Mixon, trust the volume, trust the process. Yeah, it's here, yo. Joe Burrow, they're all healthy. Start up Joe Mixon, man. Running back start of the week.
Man, I love it, man. Joe Mixon, most polarizing player in fantasy. But he's going to get it done this week, man. Have a ton of confidence in that one. My running back start of the week, I'm going with Najee Harris, man. Like I told you, Greg, off air, I wanted to go J.K. Dobbins. Then he tore his ACL. I was like, all right, I'll just go Gus Edwards. But then he tore his ACL, and it's like, all right, I can't go Tyson Williams. Can't really put the rep on you like that, Tyson. But Najee, I'll put the rep on you, bro. Going up against Buffalo, we're going with another breakout player here for me with the Steelers rookie. Buffalo gave up 24 PPR points per game to the running back position. That was the 13th highest total in the league. I think he'll be given every opportunity here to show the Steelers made the right choice selecting him with a first-round pick. I definitely think he finishes as an RB1 this week and is someone who needs to be in your lineup.
Yes, man. You need to bring the Steelers back to the Steelers that we all know, running that football, first, second down, doing what they got to do. You saw Big Ben, man. He's got ice packs, knee packs, everything, arm packs. Yo, let that man ease out. Let him hand off real quick. So, yeah, I like that for sure.
Yeah, man. Greg, your wide receiver start of the week, bro. What do you got?
Going with Cooper Kupp versus the Bears. Talk about a money spot, green spot here for this matchup. Cooper Kupp in the slot. There's no one that's going to cover him. Matthew Stafford is going to target him heavy. I think he's going to have great connection with Woods and Cooper Kupp leaning on them a lot in this offense. And it starts early. Very bad Bears secondary. He's going to be there for wherever he needs. Short, intermediate, long range targets for Matt Stafford. Cooper Kupp is the guy. Start him up.
Oh, man, I love this one, man. I love me some Cooper Kupp. And
yeah.
So, yeah, man, I'm all over this.
Yeah.
All right, my wide receiver start of the week, man. So I really, really wanted to go Calvin Ridley here, but, that's just too easy.
That's a layup. Yeah, that's a layup.
Watch out for a top 2 week from him.
Word.
Then I really wanted to go with Justin Jefferson, but that's too easy.
Ooh, that's a layup too. Oh,
that's a layup. So I was like, but be on the lookout for a top 2 week from him as well.
Yeah, true.
So then I started looking at this Jets-Panthers game, and I was like, there's Robbie Anderson, revenge game. But then I was like, DJ Moore. But I'm going with a New York Jet wide receiver hand. Give me Corey Davis, man. Ooh. Jamison Crowder's been ruled out with COVID. I think Davis sees double-digit targets here. He should be fed, and I think this game has some back-and-forth nature to it, leading to a big game here for Davis. I'm calling my shot for the wide receiver 1 week. A wide receiver 1 week here from Corey Davis.
I definitely like that coming up a career year for him. Yeah, he's got to establish himself as the dog. It was Zach Wilson as the number 1 receiver on the team. So let's go. I like that.
Greg, your tight end start of the week, bro. What do you got, man?
Talking about injuries that's going to affect people, I'm going to go with Logan Thomas versus the Chargers, man. I definitely start him up as the tight end start of the week. He gets a top 5 week here. No Curtis Samuel for at least 3 weeks. He's on IR with that groin injury, so look for Ryan Fitzpatrick to just lean on. Scary Terry and Logan Thomas even more down the field. Fitzpatrick surprisingly, led all QBs in completion percentage on those deep passes last season. That's the passes over 20 yards, so he can get it to those guys. I think Logan Thomas gets in the end zone. got 6.8 targets last season, so that's a really good number. That should right off the gate, you should get that number, if not even more, and be one of the best pass catchers on the team on Washington, which you're gonna probably go to more. AG is gonna get those receptions, but I think Logan Thomas benefits a lot from this Curtis Samuel injury. Start him up.
Yes, sir, man. All right, man. My tight end start of the week. 3 out of 4 here are going to be breakout players for me. That's Kyle Pitts, man.
Yeah, I want to pick him too. Yeah, definitely the
It
the
seems
party's
like
here.
a layup, but he's a rookie,
Nah.
so it can't be
He
a
was
layup,
sleeping
right?
on me. Yeah, word.
Yeah. So I think the coming out party it happens early this week against Philly. He should pay dividends to those that paid the tight end for a price tag for the rookie tight end, and I'm expecting immediate returns starting this week, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. They disrespected him, and we have a league where we have Kyle Pitts in NFL fantasy. I think they got him projected for like 4 points. Something ridiculous, man. So they're disrespecting him. Kyle Pitts is gonna go crazy this week.
Yeah, man. Hey, NFL fantasy. If you need somebody else to provide your projections for
He's
you,
right here.
we got you, bro. Definitely. But hey, man, Greg, it's time for everyone's favorite game, except for probably mine because I'm a sore loser. I hate to lose more than I like to win. That's a fact. So let's discuss the rules on Get Money. It is a head-to-head FanDuel contest between Greg and myself, where we are drafting players in FanDuel, but we're drafting them here on the show, and we cannot have the same players in our lineups. So it makes it for an interesting very interesting game, and we are playing just the main slate here. So we will not have Sunday Night Football, and we will not have Monday Night Football available to us.
Unfortunately, I can't get my wide receiver start of the week, Cooper Kupp, in there, but it's all good.
Oh no, it's all good, Greg. But Greg, it is I will give you the first pick here. So you are odds. I will be evens.
We gotta remember this. Yep, we got the video footage now too. We can't forget. Yeah.
So Greg, man, who's your first pick, bro?
Glad I got the first pick. So I'm gonna go heavy early. Gotta go with the boom early. I'm gonna take Alvin Kamara at 8,600. Put him in my flex spot. I don't know why it's like that. I just haven't formulated like that right now. But Alvin Kamara, 8,600 against the Green Bay Packers. Let's go.
All right, man. Well, I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey, 10-4, going up against the New York Jets. If I can't get the number 1 guy on the week, I might as well get the number 2 guy.
I like it. Then I'm going to go with possibly your number 1 guy, Calvin Ridley. I'm going to go 8,100 at the receiver position as my wide receiver 1 in that Philly-Atlanta game. Should be a lot of points.
Hey, I like that one. I'm actually going to go for my wide receiver. I'm going to try to get this game stack in early. And I know, you have some snake tendencies here, Greg. I've been snaked by you before. So I'm just going to go Corey Davis, nice and early.
Okay. I'm going to go get AG in there. Antonio Gibson is my RB1, 7,000. What a great price, first of all, for AG. The breakout season continues. All the breakout continues. I'm going to put him in there, slide him in.
Nice, man. Nice. I'm going to go with my quarterback start of the week here, Jalen Hurts, 7,600. Try to fill this quarterback spot.
Yeah, I'm going to just fill on my third running back, Joe Mixon. He's going to be my RB2. As got Kamara on the flex, and Antonio Gibson is my other RB. I'm going to go Joe Mixon, 7,200. Slide him in there.
Word. I'm going to go tight end Kyle Pitts, $6,000.
Like that.
Hopefully I can leverage some of your Calvin Ridley there.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to go Tyler Boyd as my second receiver, 5,900 on FanDuel. Gonna be that guy. I think leads the team in targets. All reliable. We talk about Higgins, we talk about Jamar Chase, all this, but yeah, Tyler Boyd's that steady, consistent points that I need.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna go with Raheem Mostert as my second running back, 6,100 in a smash spot against Detroit. Give me Mostert, man.
Yeah. At quarterback, I'm gonna go Ryan Tannehill, my quarterback start of the week. You already got yours, 7,700. So yeah, I'm sliding him in there.
Word for my my second wide receiver. I don't think I announced my first one yet. I'm gonna go Rondale Moore, 4,900, going up against Tennessee. So I'm gonna leverage some of your Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, what a great play. If I knew that, I would have slid him in there at 4,900.
I know you
Dag.
would have. That's why I did it, because I knew you were gonna find him eventually.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's rough. I mean, I had as my third receiver, Diami Brown from the Washington football team, 4,700. So I'm going to slide him in there as my third receiver. No Curtis Samuel. I think Fitzpatrick gets some targets to him. I need a cheap play right here. So that's going to be mine. Yours is way better, though. That's crazy.
For my flex spot here, I'm gonna go Najee Harris, 6,500. My running back start of the week going up against Buffalo.
Word. And at my tight end position, I'm gonna take Logan Thomas, my tight end start of the week at 5,600. So I got a lot of Washington in this that Washington LA Chargers game. Got some belief in them.
I'm going with my third wide receiver here. I'm going Justin Jefferson, 8K.
I like that for sure. The juice has been brought. And for the defense, I got some money, so I'm taking the number one defense in the week as far as price, 49ers against Detroit, 5,000.
Yeah, for my defense, I'm going with the Denver Broncos for 4,100. I still got $600 left.
Yeah, I still have $200 left. That would have been perfect to get that 4,900 Rondale Moore, which would have made my lineup perfect. I'm gonna definitely put some other lineups in with that though. Slide on Rondale Moore and play those for some cash.
All right, Greg. So why don't you read the lineup? Why don't you read your lineup off to the people real quick?
So I got Ryan Tannehill at my quarterback position at 7,700. Joe Mixon as my RB1 at 7,200. Antonio Gibson at 7,000 as my RB2. Got Calvin Ridley at 8,100 as my wide receiver 1. Diami Brown at 4,700, my wide receiver 2. My wide receiver 3, I have Tyler Boyd at 5,900. Logan Thomas, 5,600 as my tight end. Alvin Kamara, the juice, at 8,600 at my flex. And then the 49ers against Detroit at 5,000 at my defense.
Nice. Quarterback, I got Jalen Hurts, 7,600. Running back, I've got Christian McCaffrey, 10-4. My second running back, I've got Raheem Mostert, 6,100. At wide receiver, I've got Corey Davis, who's my start of the week, 5,800. Rondale Moore, who is if you listen to me on the now off the grid gridiron rating show, he's my flex of the week. But Rondale Moore, 4,900. Justin Jefferson, my third wide receiver, $8,000. Kyle Pitts, my tight end start of the week, 6K. Najee Harris, my running back start of the week, in my flex at 6,500. And Denver Broncos defense, 4,100.
Love it.
Yeah, man. Definitely going to be playing that in some paid contests because I'm in love with that lineup. But ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We've made it. It's week 1. So next thing you know, it'll be week 18 and we'll be gone. So enjoy it. Oh, man. Not professional of me. Thank you. So don't stay glued to your phones this week, your phones or your computers, watching your scores. Every time someone on your team catches a pass or runs for 3 yards, just watch the games, enjoy time with family, stop stressing over your fantasy matchups. You've already done the work by setting the lineup, listening to us, and doing your research. So just have fun, enjoy it, don't stress it.
I totally agree with that. I've definitely come to be less stressful. When I was watching the Thursday night game, I was just like, all right, yeah, just watching it. Didn't check the score till halftime, and just you know the players you have. So in your mind, you memorize all your rosters.
just enjoy it, man. I promise you'll have so much more fun. It'll be less stressful if you just watch the games and have fun. Plus, how are you gonna know who's doing what if you're not watching? You're just glued to your phone the whole time. So
sure. Yeah.
Watch the games. But good luck this week, everyone. Enjoy the games, and we'll be back next week to recap all of it. Everyone, enjoy it. We are out of here.
We out.